Famed liberal lawyer turns on buddies, defends Trump's mental health. The latest tactic used by liberal critics and haters of President Donald Trump in their never-ending effort to remove him from office is to question his mental health and stability. They ludicrously suggest that Vice President Mike Pence and other members of Trump's cabinet, along with two-thirds of both houses of Congress, invoke the 25th Amendment of the Constitution to declare Trump as unable to discharge the powers and duties of his office due to mental incompetence. But according to the Washington Examiner, famed liberal attorney and Harvard Law professor Alan Dershowitz took great issue with this very dangerous growing trend among the left to pathologize their political opponents during an appearance Sunday on Fox and Friends. There's only one thing worse than trying to criminalize political differences, and that's trying to psychiatrize them, Dershowitz stated. These psychiatrists now who are trying to diagnose without ever having met the man, that's what they did in Russia. I represented dissidents who they locked up in mental hospitals, he continued. That's what they did in China. That's what they did in apartheid South Africa. How dare liberals, people on the left, try to undo democracy by accusing a president of being mentally ill without any basis, he asked disgustedly. According to the Washington Times, Dershowitz took special exception to the way the left was tossing about the 25th Amendment as a means to remedy their political disagreements with Trump. The 25th Amendment doesn't apply. Everybody knew who Donald Trump was when they elected him, Dershowitz said. I didn't vote for him, I voted against him, people voted for him, but he hasn't changed in office, and this idea of diagnosing him instead of opposing him politically poses an enormous danger. The 25th Amendment is not supposed to be invoked if you don't like somebody's politics or you don't like his style, he continued. It's not going to happen. It's designed for people who are totally incompetent, not people who you disagree with. In an op-ed written for Fox News, the famed liberal lawyer expounded upon what he had said during his appearance on Fox and Friends over the weekend. I find it unprofessional, unethical and absurd for any mental health professional who has not examined President Trump to offer a diagnosis or psychiatric prediction about him, he wrote. While he noted that not everyone was entitled to their own political opinion, he wrote, psychiatrists and other mental health professionals have no more right to pathologize a president or a candidate because they disagree with his or her political views than do prosecutors or politicians have a right to criminalize political opponents. Dershowitz recalled how Arizona Republican Senator Barry Goldwater had been smeared by the left as mentally unstable and psychologically unfit in the 1964 presidential election, and how the American Psychiatric Association had ruled afterwards that it was unethical for a psychiatrist to offer any kind of a diagnosis on a public figure without having examined that person. Yet, little more than 50 years later, that is exactly what's happening as dozens of so-called professionals irresponsibly violate that ethical principle with a variety of absurd diagnoses about the president's mental health. Dershowitz concluded by pleading with his fellow liberals to argue against Trump on the merits and demerits of his various policies and leave the speculative mental diagnosis to the professionals who'd have actually examined their patients. Please share this story on Facebook and Twitter so everyone can see what Alan Dershowitz had to say about leftists who are questioning President Trump's mental health and stability as it relates to his fitness to hold office.